Hi, everybody. I started a little bit early. I was a little excited. There's a couple things in the news that I just wanted to pop in to keep everybody up to date on some things that are happening. And then we'll be back with the amazing Amy Weir right after this for our Becoming Supernatural. So grab your book or whatever you're working with us for the series. And we're going to be talking about mind movies in Kaleidoscope this week. So be right back right after this. Hi, Amy. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you. Awesome to be here. Happy Monday.
Yeah. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great Mother's Day.
You too. Yes.
Yeah, I had most of the kiddos here and a phone call from my oldest. He lives in another town that's quite a ways
Oh,
away with his wife, so they weren't able to make it, but the rest of the kiddos showed up, and we had Charlie's mom come over, and he made us a
great.
lovely meal, so it was really nice. Yeah. Always good to be around family. Yeah. So that was
Yeah.
good. Yeah. And you were with your family too, so that was
Yeah. I flew my
wonderful.
mom and I down to San Diego to spend the weekend with Paige. So we had 3 generations.
That's really cool.
Of the fam
Yeah.
together. So it was really, really fun. Got
Yeah.
to
Carly
watch.
and I. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, we got to watch Paige in action. She's got a new job down there in San Diego
Oh,
as a server. Yeah. So
good. So
it
you
was
got to
really
go
fun.
watch her at work. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun seeing the generations together,
Mm-hmm.
watching our little girls grow up to be
Yes.
these amazing young women and becoming supernatural on their own.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
That is for
awesome.
sure.
Well, good. I'm glad you had that time together.
Yeah.
Um, Carly and I were kicking around this weekend, and I've started doing some estate sale stuff and garage sailing and kind of kicking around and stuff. And so she's like, I want to go with you and check this out. Well, now she's got the bug
Oh,
because she's like,
no.
what do you look for and why is something valuable? And,
Mhm.
you know, um, and I look for pieces that have like American history or things with silver or
That's
things like that
awesome.
might maintain value later or be useful long term or something like that. So we got to talk a little about history and why things have value and kind of where this situation is now. And it's interesting because like with our generation, and I had a really long talk with my oldest son too and his wife, and they were talking about like their goal or dream is to have property and raise, when they have kids, have property for their kids to grow up on and out,
Mhm.
like that, and be around family generationally and all this kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
Carly was kind of saying the same thing. And I thought, man, when I was growing up, that was not the goal. The goal was, some loft in a big city and
Yep.
have like for the corporation and you know there's just been this huge shift that I'm really happy to see.
Yeah,
And yeah, so that brings me a lot of hope that the next generation is thinking differently.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Their focus is on, I think, better things than what we were, you know. I think we grew up in the Disneyland era where Disneyland was
Yes.
real big. You needed to have the handsome prince sweep you off your feet, and nowadays it's more about.
And it was the McMansion and the
Yep.
Disney Castle
Yep.
and the
Mhm.
all that stuff. Yeah, the
Mhm.
stuff,
Yep.
um,
Just
all the stuff. And that goes to, which we'll start talking about this in a minute. I did want to touch on just a couple of things because a lot of people on my channel are very into um, current events of the day and news and
Mhm.
stuff. There
Yeah.
was a AI generated image created this morning of a explosion next to the Pentagon, and I saw it and it was pushed out and it was pushed out pretty heavy across all platforms, and I
Oh.
kind of, my spidey senses went off and I did not promote it or push it out there.
Mhm.
And it caused the stock market to kind of tank quite a bit. I can't remember how many points. and within just a few hours, and then the news came out that it was fake, and all that. And I think Uncle Cliff kind of warned of this, to
Mm-hmm.
hold a lot of these narratives and information that you're seeing during this time loosely, and to you.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, this goes with kind of what we were talking about. There
Yeah,
was,
at the beginning of the chapter.
yeah, it talks about having who is more. Oh wait, did I take the? I thought I took my bookmark out. It talked about who's more susceptible to.
Mm-hmm.
The more analytical you are. Okay, if a person doesn't analyze information they're being exposed to, they're likely to accept, believe, or surrender because there is no analytical filter. It makes logical sense. Then the more suggestible you are, the less analytical you are. The opposite is also true. The more analytical you are, the less suggestible you are to the information. Therefore, it's likely that your brain will be in alpha brainwave or in a trance state. So we'll get into that a little bit, but I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself. But it's kind of like how they're using TikTok as ways to get messages into your mind. And,
Yep.
We did this with Disney films for years and years, and they used to be able to see it in the old Disney films. And then they went to the more, I can't remember what it's called. It was analog or something like that. And now it's digital. So you can't see the images that are imprinted.
Right. Yeah.
But it is literally a psyop, and they're
Mm-hmm.
able to imprint these messages into your brain. And because it feels familiar, then when you see it, you recognize it as truth,
Mm-hmm.
and you start manifesting it, and you recognize something as truth, and you just accept it.
Yep.
And you bring that into your life. And so we'll talk more about that. But we just need to be really careful about what we're consuming, what we are pushing out ourselves, or what we're accepting, and what we're repeating, because we're little repeaters.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So we need to be careful about that. Be very, now's the time to be very discerning with our thoughts and our words, and hold things lightly that we're taking in. And then there was another story that they have put out there, that there have been satellite phones given to, and I've seen this now. I have a great way to check something is to look across multiple sources, especially ones that don't always agree with each other, or other countries' information. And there have been multiple sources that have said that the U.S. senators have been given, only 50% of them have been given or accepted. Maybe, I don't know if they've been given or accepted. I'm not sure which, because I heard it both ways. So use your own discernment on that. But I've been given satellite phones in anticipation that there could be either a man-made or naturally occurring situation that could cause a communication blackout sometime soon. And there's a lot of other like comms going around, if you watch, that kind of says to make sure that your supplies are ready and stuff. And we know, I mean, that's nothing that's not out in the open. We're watching Janet Yellen talk about, get ready, the debt ceiling, and it's been that June 1st date for a long time. There was, over the weekend, she came out and talked on some channel and said, oh, we're going to push it back to June 15th. Now, I don't know why. I mean, I guess as much as they can print money magically, they can move the date magically. But I kind of think that's just to dispel some people doing some kind of a bank run. But I think we all know kind of what's coming, and we're all kind of prepared. So everyone be peaceful and calm, and we all know what to do.
Try to be as much as you can.
Yes, try to be of sound mind and body. But we have an activity that we can do. So we've been preparing in the book. I feel like they've done a really great job kind of leading us up to this point of like, okay, now we have a project. I love a project. this is like homeschool mom. I got all the crayons and I'm going to get what they compared this to. So they're talking about doing a mind movie and they're talking about kaleidoscope. So they're giving you tools. This is something they do in their workshops. It's kind of I think they call it the 21st century version of oh gosh, what's it called? The projection board things. What are they called?
Oh, the vision boards.
Vision board. Yes. 21st century version of a vision board, a tool used to clarify, focus on, and maintain specific life goals. But they really go into the details of like how it specifically works, why it specifically works. They start off with talking about propaganda and how why late night infomercials are done late night because your melatonin is up, and so you're more susceptible to being in that brain state, and that opens your mind up to accepting something to be truth, and you resonate with it and you say, I really need that. And they put you in this scarcity mentality, or they trigger you with a scary image of like they used
Shingles.
shingles with a bad outbreak or something to shock you, which scars your mind or upsets you, and that traumatizes the brain and opens the brain, which allows messaging in and makes you susceptible to their games.
Yeah.
So he says,
influenced.
yeah. So he kind of tells you, like, he gives you the magic. He tells you how this works, and then he says, okay, let's use this stuff for good.
Yes.
Which I think is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it puts you in an emotional state of change by changing how you feel, is what the commercials tend to do. The infomercials, the late night infomercials.
Yeah. In fact, I underlined when you were saying that state of feeling. It says most of the time advertising appeals to lack and separation by reminding you want what you don't have. You desire what you need to fit into a social consciousness or satiate a feeling of emptiness or loneliness. And right now, that is what that thing, that phone, I don't even know where mine is, has created. We had this amazing Twitter Spaces Friday night where we had this just amazing conversation about where we are right now, what could happen, what if the banking crisis happens, what if the dollar goes away and we're in this Mad Max bartering and all we have is, and kind of when you and Bix were here and we got to have that conversation and and he was pushing on me and I was like, okay, where do we go next? Where do we go? Then what are we trading? And it was like ideas. Oh man, whoa, that would be such a cool world if we're valuing each other for our ideas and how we can, you'd be free. We would have everything we need. Like he said, he was talking about having replicators because we would be trading ideas with each other. Cause then my NFT, you'd trade me something I need for my idea and it would go in your replicator and pop out whatever you needed at your house. And like, it was the coolest thing. So we just had all those kind of beautiful ideas. And if that loneliness machine was gone, if those phones were gone and we had, and we started talking to our neighbors because we didn't have our loneliness machine. I think of that movie when our kids were little, Wall-E, where those people were riding around on their little Walmart electric scooters and they think they're alone, but they're actually going right past each other.
Right. They know, and they don't notice each other because they have screens in front of their face the entire time.
Right. Yeah. And then we just went through this great infection where they trained us to stand 6 feet away from each other. And so we stopped talking to each other in the grocery store because we stopped smiling at each other and we had to stand 6 feet apart. And we were afraid that, what if that person doesn't believe the same thing I believe? And so they might get mad at me. and it was all about a further and further division, and
Yep.
it just created this loneliness. And now we have one of the highest rates of depression in teens. They
Yep.
have I can't remember the numbers, but there was like the highest number of what they call it beds, but need for beds for inpatient for
Oh.
teenagers in mental
Oh.
hospitals right now.
Mm.
Just horrible numbers. I
Mhm.
saw the other day, and I'd have to go back through Twitter and find it, but you guys can, I'm sure, look it up. But there was a chart, and it was complete inverse like this of when they defunded mental hospitals and the number of prison inmates went up. And it was like the
Oh, wow.
exact trend opposite. And
Wow.
it was like, if you think we don't have a gun problem in our nation or the world, we have a mental illness problem. And a lot of
Mhm.
it, I think, is loneliness and lacking community and caring for one another, you
Yeah.
know?
Because we've been divided so heavily by the government.
Yeah. Yeah, it is on purpose so that
Mhm.
they, divide and conquer, like they
Yep.
say, you know?
Exactly.
Um,
Yep.
it's all about control.
Mhm.
Um,
I agree.
oh, I digress from the book, but
No.
that's what it made me feel like when he was talking about this, that they want you in that emptiness, state of
Yeah.
emptiness and loneliness. I just thought it was so timely.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
and
to me it's a little upsetting that they would actually do something so devious. Like why play on our weaknesses such as fear and lack to push a product, to
mhm,
push something that we don't even need.
right.
So
Well,
that's
and
very
then it makes
upsetting.
you like, who are they, and are they
Mhm.
for us?
Yeah.
They aren't serving us, then that's
Yeah,
someone that brings destruction to us, you know?
exactly.
Yeah, it's really devastating when you think about it. You have to
Mhm.
wonder who's working for you and who's your enemy. Um,
Exactly.
but um, so then it goes on to talk about, let's see, so the three minds, one brain, which has really been a constant theme in the
Mhm.
book,
Yep,
the
yep.
conscious, subconscious, and the analytical mind. And this is where we were talking at the beginning about whether if you're more analytical, you're less, it's a little bit harder for you to get into this um, brainwave
Mhm.
or trance state because you're looking, because you kind of are always looking for those patterns outside, uh, which makes sense.
Yeah, you're looking for something outside of you to make you feel a certain way versus going within, because we can heal ourselves if we really want to. Medicine has its place, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying
Right.
that.
Mhm.
But it's also, honestly, it's also believing even that the medicine can
The
work. Some
medicine
people,
works.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's everything is within. So
Yeah. I also thought about, once again, the TikTok thing. This part of it, it talks about the realm of the subconscious mind. If you've ever witnessed somebody completely captivated by a television show or
yep.
TikTok,
Mhm.
so much so that when you tried to speak to them, they didn't hear you.
Are you?
It's
Mhm.
possible that they were experiencing alpha brain wave states, a highly suggestible to information. So, suggestibility is the ability to accept, believe, and surrender to information without analyzing it. In this state, the
Yep.
viewer is so engrossed, so focused on what they're watching, they appear entranced and motionless. Nothing else exists to them except the object of their attention. And, we've seen kids with, whether it's like we said, movies earlier or video games,
Mhm.
TikTok, and I say kids, but really all of us, we've all been sucked into this video age. Oh, my earpod just.
Uh-oh.
Oh, but I can hear you. Okay, that works.
Okay.
As long as I can hear you. Yeah, Ronnie, they want us all to be useless eaters for sure.
Yep.
Um,
Mhm.
and that's where we have to really engage our brain and use that critical thinking, and always be. Um,
Always question.
mhm.
There's something wrong with questioning it. I know a lot of people probably were raised to not question authority. But there's always a way of questioning it, but also be mindful of it, not just be rebellious and I'm never going to do what you tell me to do kind of a thing. But
Yeah, not just a contrarian to
yeah,
be a contrarian, but yeah,
yeah,
thoughtful
that's a good word.
about it. Yeah,
That's the word I was looking for.
yeah, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
this was the part where I also put just a little kind of moment or target around this just to bring it up to bring to people's attention that they can use suggestibility can be increased when they include shock, trauma, or a small emotional or strong emotional reaction. Because remember earlier we were talking about when you're doing your meditations or uh, like in chapter 7 when you do
Hmm.
your heart centering,
Hmm.
it's really important to have that high emotional
Hmm.
value, and
Yep.
that's what brings the healing or whatever is
Right.
true to you. It's
Right.
the high emotion. That's what Amy's been helping teach me, remind me
Yeah.
about. I think about Amy bringing that to my attention every time. Um, and so they can also use that in the inverse of they can use shock, trauma,
Right.
strong emotional reaction. I think
Hmm.
about things like the Twin Towers, different things like that
Hmm.
that they have put in front of us to shock all of us and
Right.
try to make us think something else.
Right.
Which I don't mean to keep bringing up today, but it's
No.
the time we're in right now.
No, I agree. But what's really kind of disheartening about that is that they use the lower vibration feelings, like
Mm,
fear, trauma. Those are all so low. So if you're always working on your heart center and raising your vibration, it's harder for them to penetrate your feelings and thoughts and
and attack you.
yeah. So
That's a great
meditation,
point. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's kind of a way to shield or guard yourself
Yeah.
from your
Hmm.
feelings or power. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, so then he talks about like up until this point, we've been moving into trance and alpha, theta brain wave states with our eyes closed during meditation.
Hmm.
Um, but if we can create alpha and theta with our eyes open and intentionally expose ourselves to information relevant in our life streams and goals, we can reprogram ourselves into supernatural states rather than unconscious states we experience daily. So
Hmm.
why the kaleidoscopes? And this gets into making the movie of your life. So instead
Hmm.
of in your mind and remembering things and imagining things, they encourage you to make a movie
Hmm.
of your future
Right.
and start doing your meditation and like make a vision board. But in now we have all these amazing tools. So I put a
Hmm.
list and even a link to this one thing Canva or Canvana or something. There's like a
Hmm.
free version of it, canva.com.
Okay.
If you look in the description just below where I say like join my Patreon, but then just below that, I list like a couple of tools that are all free. There's an app on your iPhone called Quik. There's one called Splice. There's
Oh, wow.
a couple other things that you can like make little free movies with pictures and type little text, and it has free little music on it that
That's
you could
awesome.
make some little free happy movies of your future,
Hmm.
upload some stuff, and then so they talk about, let's see, once you have then he's talking about the mystical experience and moving closer with yourself. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so then they start talking about making the mind movie about your future self and your life. And then they use it in tandem with this kaleidoscope video where they had somebody bring a kaleidoscope and they took like this, I don't know if it was slow mo, but they took this like intense video of it and they show it at their workshops. And then
Hmm.
they have the people watch their mind movie. So you're meditating, but with your eyes open, watching your mind movie. And they do it in the book, they talk about the whole like secession of how they do it.
Hmm.
And the mind movie is first you pick your own song, whatever you'll never tire of listening to, choose images or videos of themselves or a future event. Um, Lay them out sequentially to tell a story of what your future looks like. Finally, we ask them to come up with specific words or phrases or affirmations to add to the scenes which they superimpose over the images. So then you kind of like play it together. And then there was a whole, I think I think
A
I'm,
list of suggestions.
yeah, there was a list of suggestions. And then there was also one that said like how in the book it talks about, and I'll put it in the Telegram or something, but
Mm-hmm.
they say like, do this morning and evening for 7 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
play your mind movie. And then
Mm-hmm.
they talked about like the science of connecting it with the kaleidoscope. And then you just start playing just the song with the kaleidoscope music, or no,
Mm-hmm.
kaleidoscope colors. And then your mind movie pictures connect with the colors of the kaleidoscope. And so you start saying, oh, yes, that's true. Because this is true, because the song resonates with this, that means the other thing is true too,
Mm-hmm.
is how I understood it. Is
Okay.
that kind of right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Makes
Yeah, I
sense?
think you got that perfect. Yeah. Once they become aware that they are an awareness, I ask them to choose a scene from their mind movie. This causes their brain to naturally start adding sensory input, which begins to bring dimensions to the scene in their mind. So, yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And you're bonding with that future and it's being drawn to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You continue to place energy, your energy and attention on it. So I thought it was really cool. This was like my homeschool project mom thing. I can't wait to do with this. I think it'll be really
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
You're going to give it a
And
try?
yeah, and the other thing he talked about in here that I thought was really cool was he has he says once you become aware that you're an awareness, I ask them to choose a scene from your mind movie. So slow down, pick one scene from your mind movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're instructed to start sensing. So he never says like look at it. He doesn't want it to be two-dimensional. Like this is
Right.
where like the vision board is two-dimensional. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
glue and magazines or whatever. He wants you to
Mm-hmm.
be inside your mind movie. So
Right.
start sensing with all five senses
Yep.
and fill the space with you inside your mind movie and start feeling the three-dimensional form space, expand your awareness. Curves, textures, sense. What else is in the space? Now in the future space at the time, and then start inhabiting your body in the space. Now, once you feel the space, then start thinking about what your body feels like while
Mm-hmm.
you're in the space,
Yep.
because now you're in the space. Be aware of your physical body in your own future. What do your arms feel like in the future? Your legs, your muscles, your torso? Can you feel your whole body in that scene? Then
Mm-hmm.
you're ready to move about in that space and experience that reality. And that's when they have that, like they've been there. And
Yep.
he was talking about some of them come back and they're like, no, I know it's happening because I've already been there.
Yeah.
And so that I thought that was really great.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
if if it's like you went and visited something and somebody's telling you, oh, Arizona doesn't exist, and you're like, no, I was there. Like
Yeah.
I went there, I saw it, like it's a real
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
um so I loved this. I thought it was really
Yeah.
great.
I'm sure we've all had dreams where it's felt like so real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what you're forcing. You're not just letting your dreams run wild. You're actually forcing it. Well, I shouldn't say force, but you're actually more aware of it. You're more cognitive of it.
It's like,
So
what do they call it, lucid dreaming,
yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
similar to that, like where
Yeah.
you become aware but you stay in that state.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
Yeah.
control the environment and say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I accept that I'm here and now I'm going to have fun with this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I can
Yeah.
control it now.
Yeah. If we only realized how true that is. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
even I was almost gonna say probably is, or I was gonna be rational or, no, how
Yeah.
true that is, how much we really do or can control,
Yep.
our reality if we
Yeah.
choose to. So,
Yeah. If you choose. Exactly. It's not easy. I know that it takes some practice. So, and daily awareness of it too, because we're so, I mean, you're human, you're going to slip back into your old habits and stuff, but the longer you do it, the longer you can sustain those moments.
it's also heavy if you think about, like, it's that responsibility thing. "Oh, wait, that means I'm" if that's true, then that means I'm I could choose something different.
Hmm.
So when I don't have to I could change this if I'm having a bad day or I'm in a different state I don't wanna be in, then don't be in that.
Right.
Change that.
Exactly. Yep.
Um, and so that's a lot of personal responsibility, and sometimes people don't wanna take that on.
No.
You know,
That
but
is one of the things people don't like to do.
we are not victims here at Team Mighty. The Mighty Sirens are not victims. We're ready to take personal responsibility, so.
Exactly.
Well, I think we're doing one of your favorite, chapters next week. It says, walking
The
meditation
walking
for
meditation. Yeah.
chapter 9. I know you've
Hmm.
talked about that several times, so
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna try. I haven't looked on YouTube for it yet, but I'm sure there's probably somebody has put like the walking meditation on YouTube. I'm finding a lot of Joe's meditations are available on YouTube. So
that's really helpful. Yeah, I
yeah.
went to his website to try to find the Mind movie, because in the book it says to go there, but I guess
Hmm.
this book is older, it's not there anymore, but I
Hmm.
was able to find mindmovie.com, and they
Hmm.
have a kit you can purchase for, like, $97 or something,
Hmm.
but it seems kind of outdated or something, I don't know. To
Yeah.
me, like, use your PowerPoint, use, like, all
Yeah.
these free apps, use
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of really great free tools out there. I wouldn't spend
Yep.
97 bucks on it. No offense,
Yeah.
Mind Movie people. I mean, I appreciate what you did,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think everybody could do it for free.
They were the pioneers, at least. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody go
I mean,
follow
he
them.
talks about him at the beginning of the chapter. He talks all about him.
Yeah,
So
I think
yeah.
it's cool that they did it. I think it's amazing. And
Mhm.
their own story, yeah, is really
Yeah. Their own
amazing.
story was amazing.
Yeah, and of course, they have the evil banksters seize their bank account,
I couldn't
and
believe that.
didn't surprise me. Oh, that's
uh,
another thing I wanted to mention. My friend Amy Fulmer, that used to be on the show with me quite a bit, sent me a message. She was out walking in Phoenix the other day, and another Wells Fargo bank is closing down around her. They have
wow.
signs up saying, warning people that more branches will be closing on or before July 23rd. We all think it's going to be way before that, but
Yeah.
it's coming.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's happening.
happening. Mhm. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, everybody stay sane and
Yes.
become supernatural.
Yes. That's going to save a lot of people. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I think it will too. I think it'll help
Yeah.
through this transition. Get outside and get some beautiful sunshine. Get to know your neighbors.
Yep.
Puppy, I don't know. Go
Put your
adopt.
feet in the grass. Walk around barefoot.
Yeah, for sure. Do some gardening, get in those microbiomes. I've been reading a lot of great stuff about mushrooms. Lion's mane
Mhm.
specifically is really great for your brain.
Mhm.
Dr. McDaniel and I are going to do a video about that. There's some lion's mane in the New Eden stuff. And he was
Mhm.
talking to me about, he helped take care of Ben Carson's mother, and she had Alzheimer's, and he helped her with some of that stuff. It was just amazing, amazing stuff. So,
Awesome. You should
yeah.
ask him about MCT oil too.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
Good for the brain.
Brilliant guy. Yeah, all of that stuff. So good for us. I think we have so much more healing that's going to be released here for people,
Oh yeah.
hopefully sooner than later, because I know we have so many people out there
Yep.
really struggling. So praying for everybody out there that might be hurting right now, but just, turn to those around you that love you and know that we're all in this together, and sending you lots of love and
Yep.
good vibrations. So we will see you guys next time on The New Normal. Bye.